Hello, everybody, and welcome into Clingers Have Spoken. My name is Joel Klinger. Alongside me, as always, is my brother Michael. We're here to break down episode 4 of Survivor Rome tonight. And what an episode. First off, I want to say, huge fan of this episode. Big ups to everybody involved. Loved it. My winner pick went home. Crazy. Really, a character that we did not see at all up until this point actually looks like the most competent, dominant player on Survivor this season. Michael, your thoughts?
I don't know. I think time will tell on how good of a move Genevieve made tonight. She did a good job of getting numbers for this vote, but I don't think it was that much of a challenge to do so. She could have taken the vote without Saul's help, but the fact that she got it is good.
Yeah.
But long term, I don't know how great of a move this was, but I'm happy that Saul didn't go home. That guy's done nothing to deserve going home. And the fact that Keyshawn went home tonight, brother, if you hadn't voted out Asia last week, you wouldn't have gone home tonight.
Yeah.
That's facts. You should have voted out Genevieve last week like Asia wanted to. And you shouldn't have voted Asia out. But you made bad decisions. And that's what happened.
Yeah, it's tough. It really bit them in the butt tonight. Because they were like, oh, I think we could trust Genevieve. And nope, you can't trust Genevieve. Genevieve's playing the game. Shocked that we have not seen any Genevieve until this moment right now. Because I guess Rome is a much louder personality, but Genevieve has maybe 50 times more likely to chance to win the game than Rome does, I would say. This is a great tribe. This boot order is out of control, and I'm very into it.
Yeah.
Not because the people that I like are staying, but because there's dynamism, there's
beef.
movement. There's beef, which is incredible. Two people in this game, they just voted together to blindside someone else. That the only mistake that they made was throwing out someone's name.
Yeah.
And
who else's name was he supposed to throw out? Teeny's?
Right. He wasn't going to throw out Teeny's name.
He can't throw out Rome's name. He can't throw out Saul's name. He's not going to throw his own name out. Yeah. Teeny's his best ally.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I think that
we saw with Gata, everybody was like, well, John maybe would be the name that he would feel comfortable. And John was actually going to go home. John was the plan. It makes sense to be scared to be the backup. But it's kind of crazy in a way, because it's he wasn't throwing her name out as this is a real option.
Mm-hmm.
He was just saying we could tell Saul that might be the best bet. If we're coming to him, who's the most likely that we would actually say vote for?
And if Rome is the one communicating this to Saul, then Saul's going to know that's not what's happening. Because he's not going to believe that Rome would actually tell him a legitimate plan.
It's so
obviously
crazy. Yeah, Rome is this is incredible. The threatening, the ultimatum, whatever you want to call it, man. Rome and Saul is such a fascinating dynamic. Because I respect Saul a lot for not freaking out. I feel like other Survivor players would freak out.
Dude, if he was following me around that closely and I was please get out of my face, and he was no.
Yeah.
I was I don't. If he had punched him, I don't think the producers should have stepped in. Like, you know, like it's like, I don't know, you were kind of asking for that one. Like he was
Yeah.
being like an annoying sibling like level of annoying, and it's just like, oh my gosh. I that's the thing. Like Genevieve had an opportunity tonight to break from Rome, and she didn't do that. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
she would have been the third with Keyshawn and Asia, but also her and Saul would have been a pair. Like all of that could have happened,
Well,
and
but Saul also
she
has connections with Teeny though.
not
Like
really.
if Genevieve goes with Keyshawn and Teeny and Saul, then it's like she's at best it's 2v2, right? And you know, wow. And you know that someone just threw your name out. So it's like I it was in her best interest to do what she did tonight. And she did it, which is crazy. And she did it by getting two people that absolutely hate each other's guts to vote together.
Yeah.
Like, and they're definitely not going to work with each other. Like, she's Rome's number one. She's Saul's number one now. Like, it's Genevieve's tribe.
Yeah, I mean, I think her social game was definitely on display today. Like her ability to get people to vote the way that she wanted. And it wasn't like necessarily logic. Like she wasn't like persuading them and like this is what you should do and here's why. It was more just like, look, I'm your number one. This is what I think we should do. Please, like, I know you don't like Rome. Please vote with us. You know, like I
Yeah.
know you want to get Saul out, but those guys are not with us ultimately. Like she was able to use her social game more in this episode. I mean, she did. It was a great job. Great job by her. I mean, we'll see though. Like we'll see how it plays out for her because I'm not sold 100% on it was a great move like long term. Which is what she said at tribal council. She's like, I hope I'm doing the right thing, and we'll see.
Yeah.
This could be a huge move for me, one way or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's crazy because she worked with two people to go against their original plans up until like maybe an hour before they went to tribal. And she got 4 votes on the person that she wanted. Like, that's crazy. Like, Rome literally used an advantage. Like, he stole Keyshawn's vote. And I guess that was probably to, like, buy some type of buy-in from Saul to say, like, okay, I'm going to steal Keyshawn's vote.
Yeah.
So, like, vote with us. Because there's nothing left to do.
Yeah. Like, I think, like, Saul was even a little bit surprised whenever, like, Rome actually stole Keyshawn's vote instead of his. Like, I think
Yeah.
Saul was a little bit surprised that actually happened. He was like,
Well,
wait,
I
what
still-
am I supposed to do now?
I still thought there was a chance that he would have put like 2 votes on Saul and 1 vote on Keyshawn. I totally thought
Yeah.
that could have happened,
Yeah.
but it didn't. And that's an interesting dynamic. I hope Saul makes the merge. I like watching Saul a lot.
Yeah. Oh, he's just like a chill, like smart guy.
Yeah,
And I like that he like wasn't sometimes on Survivor when people are like getting bullied, they just like kind of just take it and they just like go off and like cry. And he was just like, dude, I'm not going to do that. Like, get out of my face. Like,
yeah.
I am not doing the thing that you're trying to get me to do.
I'm
And
not giving you my shot in the dark
dude,
right now, man.
It was, Rome is so frustrating to watch on TV.
Oh man, I love it.
Like
he
has no like self-awareness at all.
I normally hate villains. I love Rome. Rome, I don't know what it is. I am fascinated by Rome. Not because I think he's a good person or that I think he's going to win or that he's a great social player. I think he like truly just like does what he wants to do. Like his inhibitions are low, you know? Like he had
Yeah.
no problem. He like it was like a flex. It was a brag to be like Keyshawn. I could just like basically bully him into giving me a shot in the dark, and if he doesn't do it, then I'll just tell him I'm going to vote him out. And even if he does do it, I'm just going to vote him out anyway.
Yeah.
Like that's a like whoa, like lacking any type of like empathy in this game, lacking any type of like social strategy that you might have to work with someone down the road that you don't like is crazy.
Yeah.
It's Survivor Rome.
I mean, good job by casting, because I think like he does stir up a lot of conflict. And like
Yes.
that's what Survivor, like when it's been at its best, had conflict at camp. Like people's personalities like clashing in really explosive ways, you know?
Yeah.
Like Sandra and Johnny Fairplay, like those types of conversations and arguments. And like Survivor like really went away from those things. They started casting like people that people like. But
Yeah.
when you have somebody out there that is really hard to deal with, he's not hard to deal with in a way of like he's like knows he's a bully and a jerk, and he's like he thinks he's just playing Survivor, but he just
Being a
he has
bully.
no idea how he comes off. And the only reason that he like quote unquote apologized in the worst apology ever,
Yeah.
when he was like, "Hey, I know that you probably think that I was coming off like bad to you early, but you know
Sorry.
that's not like what I was trying to do." It's like,
It's like, no, that's 100% what you were trying to do.
okay, is that an apology? Like he only did that because Genevieve was like, "Let's get Saul to vote with us."
Yeah.
Like if Saul was going home, he would have doubled down on it.
Yeah. He would have been like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, like literally, he's like, and like when Rome was telling Keyshawn like, "Oh, I have no problem going to him and giving him an ultimatum," Keyshawn's probably thinking, "Great."
Great.
Because
he literally said that. He
because
was like,
I
"Nope,
want
that works for me.
I want you to soil yourself so that I have more grounds to vote you out anyways. Or we vote out
Yeah.
Saul. Either way, like it doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
so the fact that ended up getting turned all the way around on Keyshawn is crazy. So hats
Crazy.
off to Genevieve. The way that she got so giddy about it at Tribal before the vote was awkward. It's like when
Yeah.
someone just starts giggling right before you go to vote. Everybody's got to think, is something weird about to happen?
Right.
And she basically
Yeah, she
said,
did-
it is. Like, it's happening. Something weird is about to happen.
Yeah. Like, because she didn't do that the first time. You know?
Right.
She was like, all right, I don't have really any power to this. I think this is how it's going to go down. Cool. But then it's like, oh, she knew. And then Rome did it, and everybody's like, oh, snap. So, crazy. Crazy. Unlike my power rankings, she's got to be at the top now, you know? From like right above Rome on the bottom last week to like now she's got to be like my favorite. Like I want Genevieve to go far. If that's what we see from Genevieve consistently, I'm in. If it means Rome making the final three, I'm in. Like take me there, Genevieve. That would be awesome. And then we'd have like a whole Russell Hantz, Natalie White situation again, you know? Where it's like, okay,
Oh
well,
my
I'm not going to vote
gosh.
for this person. But you also enabled this person the whole way.
But like also, it's not like Rome has been dominating the game. He just got lucky.
He
Like
found
he
the
got
things.
lucky twice.
Yeah.
He got an idol. And he got a steal a vote advantage. The steal a vote advantage he did literally nothing to get.
Yeah.
So like he's only had this place in the game of power because he got lucky. If he didn't have those things, he would be gone by now. Like
Yeah.
100%. Like everyone would have looked around last week and voted him out.
Yeah.
It's like this guy doesn't fit the vibe. And so like
Yeah.
I guess that's makes for a good TV show if we like the conflict that Rome's creating. But it is another thing of like Asia, I'm still like she was a good Survivor player, or at least like an average Survivor player, and she just got voted off first on her tribe for some stupid reason because there's too many dumb advantages in the game at the like right when the game started. Like, why are there so many
Yeah.
advantages right when the game starts?
Great transition. Okay, so two things happened tonight where we saw advantages come into play. Sue found just a full-on idol, just 100% real. All she had to do was chop a rope and clean up a mess that she did not know she was
She
going to have to
didn't even
clean
have
up.
to
So
clean
there's-
up that mess. I don't know why she spent so much time doing that.
Yeah, I would have just ran.
Yeah, no
yeah,
one's going
I
to know it
would've,
was
like-
you. People
Right,
definitely
yeah.
wouldn't have expected it was her.
Yeah, and they still didn't. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah. So I'm curious your thoughts on that. I was just kind of blown away that it's a full blown idol right away. You know, like no extra steps necessary. Whereas these other people early in the game, you gotta go 3 times. You have to risk it every time
Yeah.
to get a full idol.
I think they probably weren't conceiving that everybody would have gotten that idol and only gotten it for 1 vote or 2 votes or 3 votes or whatever. I think they probably were thinking people will try to max out this idol so that it becomes a full idol, those first ones they planted. And
Yeah.
then they didn't. And so they were like, well, we don't have another plan for like another progressive idol hunt. So let's just put
Yeah.
a real one someplace and see what happens.
Yeah, and I think that providing the option to go once or go 3 times kind of provides like more drama up front, because I feel like people were so hesitant to use an idol before the merge before.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, well, if they have it, that's more drama, that's more obstacles to cover in this 6-person game right now,
Yeah.
which is smart, and I like that. Secondly, the amulets came back. And I was wondering what they were, because like when they opened the box, I was like, those are like big things. Like those, you can't hide those very well, you know? And they kind of just had to be honest with their tribes about it. And it's an interesting trio.
Why did they have to be honest?
I think it's impossible to hide. Like if you came back with that in your pocket, like you can't hide that in your bra. You can't put that in your shoe. It was big. Like it was bulky.
I think people have hidden bigger things than that. I didn't like that. Why did they like it? You can't say, hey guys, like this is going to help us work together at the merge. If everyone in the cast knows about it, it's only going to be used to take each other out, like as incentive to take each other out. Like as soon as you tell
Yeah.
everyone else, like it's no longer like a thing that like will be fun when we all use it together. Like, no, that's gone. That's over. That's not happening. Y'all are just going to take each other out.
Right. It's like now Caroline, when she goes back and tells her tribe, hey, I have this amulet and I can't use it for us until we vote out Teeny and Andy.
Right.
Then it becomes useful for the tribe. But it just puts targets on the specific those people's backs.
Right.
So it's kind of low-key a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Except for the one person that's left.
Absolutely. And for Teeny to lose her vote just to get that, like that sucks.
Yeah. That sucks.
Like that's not a good, like we didn't need this journey. Like this episode had enough fun things in it. And I don't know. I mean, maybe if Teeny doesn't go on the journey and Teeny doesn't lose her vote, maybe tonight's tribal plays out differently. And I think we were all intrigued by how the tribal played out. But yeah, I mean, I didn't like that. Like, getting an amulet is a disadvantage. Like, can you give it to someone else?
I was wondering while we were talking, I was like, what happens if on the way back to my island, the amulet just like falls off the boat?
Yeah, like
it just doesn't exist anymore. Like, what happens then? You know?
like there should like what I would be incentivized to give it to someone else if it was transferable. Like, not
Yeah.
even someone on my tribe necessarily. Like, give it to the other
Sure.
person. It's like, I don't even have mine. You're the person that's holding 2 amulets. We should vote you out instead
Yeah.
of I don't want people to have an incentive to vote me out, especially when I'm holding something that has no power.
Yeah. Like,
Like,
maybe
it's a disadvantage.
If I'm Caroline and Andy, I'm like, here, Teeny, you lost your vote. Here, use these and we'll get your back. Like, we got your back. You know, just have our back. Like, maybe that's like a bridge building thing where it's like, fine, you can have an idol and I feel somewhat connected with you. So you
Yeah.
might use it for our gain.
Yeah.
And then you go back to your tribe and you're like, oh, I didn't risk. You know,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm sure you can't give it up. I'm sure that's a clause somewhere. But that sucks.
Yeah, that sucks for them. Like, if it was just 2 people, it would be better. But the fact that it's like, if it was just the winning tribes that got to go on this journey and one from each of them have it, that would make more sense. But the fact that it's all 3 tribes are like represented in this, like, I could see
Yeah.
Andy flipping. He basically said as much, like, I'm ready to flip at the merge. Basically what he said. At this point, I could see Teeny flipping. So,
Yeah.
like, maybe for Caroline and the Blue Tribe, it is hey, we've got an easy way to pull Andy in and pull Teeny in. And if they both bring one person with them, okay, now we're in the majority. You know, so I
Yeah,
don't know.
you don't even need another person at this point, right? Like, there's 14 people on that island. That's 7 right there. If you can get the Blue Tribe to work together. But can you get, Kyle and
You
Tiana
need
to
extra
vote
votes.
with the Blue? Yeah.
People are always flipping the other way too.
Yeah. Cool. What else?
Do you believe
Sam.
that? Do you believe Sue telling Kyle that she's 45 years old?
No comment.
Nobody believes
No,
Sue is
I
45
don't-
years old.
Well, also, isn't she telling? She told them that she has grandkids, right?
Yes.
And she's 45. Like, dang, that
I
is
mean,
a young grandma. Like, I
it
know that's real.
happens.
That's real, and that happens.
Like,
But, like-
Laura, Sierra's mom on Survivor, she was like 45 and she had a grandchild.
Okay. Yeah, I just
But
like.
she looked a lot younger than Sue. We all know
mean,
Sue's
yeah,
not
and-
45. Why would she
Right.
lie about her age? What's the benefit of that?
To make her, like, I guess, like, she doesn't want to seem frail, but I don't think 58 is that frail in Survivor. Like, I think if you're 65, yeah, maybe don't say you're 65. I feel like under 60 you're safe and you can still function okay. But you don't got to be 45. Like, how old was Gabler? Gabler had to be,
Gabler was like 50.
yeah. So, I mean, I really don't buy. I don't know what she's doing. Because I feel like she wants to come in and she's like, she goes back and forth. She's like, oh, I want people to think that I'm some old, grandma who can't do anything. But little they know, like, I'm a rich business owner that is very fit and active. And it's like, okay, well, then tell them you're 58 or tell them you're 65. Like, if
Like,
that's
do you
the
thi-
image that you're trying to give.
Do you think her plan is to, like, get to the end at Final Tribal and be like, Guys, here's the
Gotcha.
truth. I've been lying about my age this whole time. I'm not 45 like you all totally believed. I'm 58 years old. It's like, Sue, we've seen your elbows. We know you ain't 45 years old.
58? You mean you lied to me about your age? All right, you deserve my vote.
Oh, wow.
That was it.
You lied about saying that you were still the oldest person here?
Yeah. Like, I think 58 is cool. I think I would want to be an alliance member with someone that's 58 as long as they're like smart, like and have a good head on their shoulders.
I don't know. To a 24-year-old, is there even a difference between 45 and 58?
No.
Like Kyle, what did Kyle say? He was like, "Oh, you've still got some good years left, Lord willing." Or
Seriously. Seriously. That's like 45.
What are you talking about, Kyle?
If she's actually 45, she has like, hopefully like half her life left. Like, what do you mean she's got some good years ahead of her?
She's still got some good years ahead of you.
Like, what are you talking about, man? Oh, like, what
like
are you
that was
saying,
like he
dude?
didn't know what to say and was just saying something, and then it was on national TV.
I feel like he was fully prepared for her to say like 60. And like he came up with that response, and then she said 45, and then he just said that anyway.
Yeah.
Like
that was like his, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cuz you look a lot older than that.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, "Wow, you look great for your age," you're just like, "Oh, wow, you must be a smoker."
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. Sam kind of got mad at Sierra tonight.
Stock down. Sam's stock way down.
For talking to Sierra and Sierra telling him information. That's not even like game information. Like it is game information, but it's not like new information. It's just like a small detail that she didn't tell Sam because she just had that conversation. And it's like, so Sam, I guess, was picturing, Andy's my ally. Andy's my number. No one's going to talk to Andy. And then when he pitched bringing Andy into Sierra, she was like, cool. And he thought, okay, then I'm in the middle of this 3-person alliance, and it's not a 3-person alliance. It's me and both of my people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I get why that would make him nervous, but also just a bad look to be like, what the heck?
Yeah. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, we've established Sam is a reporter for the Titans. He's a beat reporter for A to Z Sports for the Titans. Do you think, which is a good way to say he's a reporter that no one reads. He works for A to Z Sports. So
he's on Twitter often, and he's seen on Twitter, I would say, pretty often.
I do see him on Twitter, but it's just like, guys, this is what the locker room looks like. So this is my question to you, which is this.
No, I don't agree with that. Sam, if you want to come on the podcast, I'd love to have you, man. I think that's like
Sam. I never said he couldn't come on the podcast. Sam. This is my question to you, Joel, and Sam. I would love to hear your thoughts. Like, do you think the Titans players are watching this and they're like losing respect for him?
No, I don't think they're losing respect for him. I think there probably are a couple guys that probably will watch it or are watching it. I'd be curious to know what those conversations are like. They might be like, "Yo, bro, what are you doing? Like, keep it cool, man." But they also might be very complimentary.
He's not a professional athlete like all of the Titans players are. So you'd assume he'd be like smart, but he's also not being presented as a smart guy on this show. He's a writer for a job. Like, he should be smart. But he's not looking smart on the show at all.
I don't see it like that. I don't see it as he's not being smart. I think he's being smart and he's anxious about the right things. I think he's doing the wrong things to recover from that anxiety. Does that make sense?
He's making dumb decisions?
I think he's very able to comprehend what's going on around him, and he doesn't like it. And then he's responding in an anxious way with his number one ally that he needs to trust and needs to trust him, which is probably not great. But I wouldn't say that's not smart. Also, fellow Lipscomb alum, Sam. I don't know if you knew that.
He's a Lipscomb alum?
Lipscomb, yeah. Sam graduated with, I think it's a journalism or a sports media degree. So he and I graduated from the same department at Lipscomb University.
Wow.
Yeah.
And me saying
Network,
no one reads anything he puts out on A to Z is true, but it's not that demeaning. No one listens to this podcast either. So,
Yeah, I don't know why you're trying to put out beef, man. Like, what are we doing? This
beef
is
sells.
all love.
Beef sells, baby.
No, okay. This should be a vegetarian.
I'm coming for
podcast
Buck Rising next, baby.
No, God.
Or
no.
Buck Rising and Jared Stillman had like that beef last year.
Yeah,
that was epic.
Well, no.
Team Buck, by the way.
No, yeah, definitely not Team Jared. Jared, man, I have opinions on that guy that I will not put out on the air.
Those are the two shows I listen to the most on like local sports media is Buck and Jared, though. I do listen. I listen to Zach Lyons is now the co-host with Blaine Bishop on 104.5. I listen to that show too for Zach.
Yeah,
not for Blaine. But
anything else on Survivor?
On this episode, I like the challenge. I like the make the thing and throw the beanbags through.
Yeah, that was cool.
I like that.
Yeah, cool.
There's something else too that I was like, I like that, but I forget what it was. I've been okay with the challenges and the twist this season. It's just like too many journeys, too many advantages this early in the game, too many losing. I don't like when people are forced to risk their vote. I like it when you have to think about whether you are going to lose it or you're willing to risk it. I don't like when it's like what it has been a lot, which is like at least one of you is losing your vote, or you have to draw a thing and you might lose your vote and you don't get a choice. I think that's dumb, and I want them to not do that anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't mind the extra advantages that much. I think it makes for good TV. Probably less strategy. It's more strategy, but it's like less quality strategy, I would say. Like it shifts power pretty greatly. But yeah, that's the kind of vibe we're in right now in this new era of Survivor and Survivor Rome. We have, for Survivor 50, our 4 contestants as of now are Christian Hubicki, Cochran, Shan, and Sari. Are you ready to name your next person?
Yes.
In the third round of the Survivor 50 Mega Draft, Michael Klinger selects
Q.
Incredible. Q.
You know he's going to be on it.
I mean,
you know Q's going to be on Survivor 50.
Are we sure?
I'm like 90% sure that Q's going to be on Survivor 50. Like him and I said Christian, or like I'm like 90% sure both of those guys are going to be on Survivor 50.
Man, Q would be crazy.
He's like, it's going to happen.
He would be voted out so fast, I feel. Unless we get like a whole coach, second season arc or third season arc. Where he kind of modifies his game a little bit. But I just don't see that happening with Q, to be honest.
He's seems like someone who'd be good in challenges. So I think that like buys him a lot of time in the pre-merge.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm going to go new era. I haven't picked a new era person yet. I'm going to go back? Oh, man, I have two right now.
I mean, there's going to be plenty more opportunity to add. So
I'm in between a person that played with Shan, like the person that you would add from that season that played with Shan, or a player from season 42. And I think I'm going to go with the player from season 42 or 43. I can't remember. 43. It's 43. Jesse. Jesse's got to come back. I think of the people that just say, I'm out here for my family. I'm going to play strategically. I think he's got to come back. And hopefully he will know how to make fire, honestly. Yeah. That would be important. And that would be a great end if he was actually able to make fire and won the game.
I'd love for him to win because I have a signed buff from him, Survivor 43. So, if he won, that would be worth, I don't know, $10? I don't know. He signed a lot of things, so it wouldn't be worth that much. But it'd be worth more than it is now. Right now, it's worth more as a head covering.
You know what's worth a lot right now? The goalposts of the Vandy victory over Alabama. First off, we got to close down the podcast with this. Never been able to say this in my life. Vandy football just beat the number one team in the nation, and it was incredible. Anchor down. Clark Lee just got tenure at the most prestigious university in the world, and we were excited for the future, and a little scared without Pavia what that team looks like next year. But this is awesome, and I'm living in this moment. And they're auctioning off player jerseys and goalposts, and they are going for thousands of dollars. They actually sold out of the goalposts that were going for thousands of dollars, and they're selling like Pavia's signed worn jersey for thousands of dollars. And I got to tell you, I've never felt this way as a Vanderbilt fan. I wore my Vanderbilt gear out Saturday night. Everyone was talking to me about it. And then I watched number 4 Tennessee lose, and they were all upset. And I was like, this is insane. Like, what is this feeling right now? Like, is this what everybody feels when they like win like a big game in college football? I've never felt that feeling before in my life. Like, the biggest was like maybe 2007 when Jay Cutler beat Tennessee. Like, that was pretty sick. Or when they like beat Tennessee again, in the James Franklin era. But I just want to say I'm proud to be a Vanderbilt Commodore fan. And if anybody else wants to be a Vanderbilt Commodore fan, there's plenty of room on the bandwagon. There's plenty of seats in the stadium. Like, anchor down, baby. That's all I got to say.
I'll say you're welcome, Vanderbilt and Vanderbilt fans, because if I was still a card-carrying Vanderbilt fan, no chance Vandy beats Alabama on Saturday. I'm bad luck. I'm a curse. None of my teams can ever succeed. And so Vanderbilt, you're welcome for me jumping off the Vandy train. Hey, I was rooting for you on Saturday, but can't say that I am a fan. My
your card expired.
How well a Saturday goes for me is in no way tied to how the Vanderbilt score. So I cannot say that I'm a true Vandy fan anymore. They hurt me too many times, and I'm sure they will hurt you all that are cheering for them now. So, also, Titans have a must-win game this week.
Yeah, who cares about them? Anchor down, baby. This has been the Cleaners Have Spoken. I'm Joel. That's Michael. We will see you next week on Survivor Rome. Bye, everybody.